So it's been weeks since Terra completely had a shit show, and it was probably one of the largest systemic shocks that crypto has seen ever. Billions of capital have left crypto, which means that yields are also drying up fast. It continues to be a downturn. Crypto is finally decoupled from the stock market in a bad way. And Doge is still in the top 10 coins, so I'm guessing there's probably still more room to fall. Welcome back to my channel. I think we all know by now that none of this is financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Hit that like and subscribe button to get started. Generally speaking, bear markets are the time to de-risk. And I know there's gonna be some of you that are just active little degens, flipping every single goblin derivative and free mints of the day. But I would say for the majority of us, de-risking and making fewer bets is the way to go in bear markets. So this video, I'm gonna share some tips on how to survive a bear market. General rule of thumb, now that we're in bear, it is time to risk off and to go back to basics where there are less outsized returns and therefore less risks that you should be taking on. Less risks. Risks. Hate that word. Anyways. First thing to do when you notice that the market is going to bear, or when you are generally bearish, is to swap to stablecoins. These are cryptocurrencies pegged to the dollar or the pound, whichever currency of your choice, and they can earn you up to 6% per year in different DeFi protocols. The stablecoins are going to be your dry powder for potential buying opportunities, because it's not always just a straight down, there's always choppiness in between. And remember, capital is king. So no matter what the market is, you are retaining the dollar value and increasing it at a steady rate. Just for the love of God, don't buy anything that Do Kwon touches. Don't buy any algorithmic or AKA algo stablecoins, because clearly we have not solved the algorithm for this. I mean, just look at Luna, Terra, Wrap Luna, Luna 2.0, and basically all of the ones mentioned in this clever jingle.
Ample Fourth, ESD, DeFi Dollar, UST, Basis Cash, Iron Fi, Neutrino Protocol, Tower Finance, Senior Rich, Steam Dollar, Bid Shares, USDS, FRAX, Unsustainable. Don't start an algo stable. It'll start off working till the market worsens.
The second thing that you want to do is to cut your losses. If you're like me, this is a really hard one to swallow because of, one, the sunken cost fallacy, where you think, I'm already in this far, if this could pump any day now, might as well hodl on, might as well diamond hand to Valhalla. And that's partially because of the gambling goblin and you telling you these emotional rationalization that doesn't serve you too well. Because the reality is, a lot of these projects are never gonna make it. So in that sense, it's better to cut your losses now and put whatever you've left in something that still can make it and will continue to do well in the future. In bear markets, it's better to sell the tokens from doubtful projects to reduce the risk in your crypto portfolio. Analyze each of your investments, take a good hard look at your coins, and ask yourself, is your Shiba Come Rocket Elongate Doge coin really gonna make it out of the woods? I know, really hard questions to ask right now. The blue chip coins are the ones that I feel more comfortable holding onto, and if you have the risk tolerance and ammo, bear markets are actually a really good place to start DCAing or dollar cost averaging into blue chips like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think layer 2s like Arbitrum, Optimism, IMX are also going to be pretty hot contenders this next run up, just because the narrative seems to be switching more to these L2s than the alternative L1s. The next thing you want to do is to tap that like and subscribe button for good luck, because trust me, it really works. Plus, you'll be getting all sorts of free content about bull and bear markets. It's a win-win. The fourth thing that you should consider is to consolidate your NFT portfolio if you've been dabbling in NFTs, and if you're watching my channel, you most likely have been. You gotta cut the losses here as well, right? Just like your coins, you gotta realize that most of these are not gonna make it for the next leg up. Unless you really love the art, sell the NFTs that you know are just probably not gonna make it. Think of it this way, right? Ultimately, NFTs are community projects, and when there's no adequate war chest, aka treasury, a strong team executing the roadmap or whatever it is, or innovation, it's probably one of the 99% that are not gonna make it. Instead, you want to hedge with blue chip NFTs if you can afford it. Otherwise, you can consider having exposure through them by buying the fractionalized versions. The NFT market right now is relatively new compared to everything else, and so there are no true blue chip NFTs, but some NFT collections are clear leaders and therefore more likely to survive a bear cycle. Some of these include the Yuga ecosystem, which is the Bored Apes and the other side, and of course the punks. You have Doodles, you have Artifact, which is acquired by Nike, you have Azuki, and certain art blocks projects like Videnzas and Squiggles. You can check out some websites like DAP Radar's NFT Fractionalized, which gives you the rankings and analysis of fractionalized NFTs in the market. You can kind of search through them and look for things that you are most bullish on if you cannot afford a full blue chip NFT and you still want that exposure. And there's also fractional.art, where you can buy, sell, and mint fractions of NFTs. Okay, and last but not least is you want to reduce your risky liquidity positions. You really want to reduce or close your position in liquidity pools of smaller, less influential cryptos. The reason being, when shit hits the fan, yields dry up, and we've already seen buildings and capital already get drained. So when yields dry up, they tend to dry up more so in like these smaller, shallower pools. You want to ask yourself, okay, how much do you have in these pools and what do you want to secure? Evaluate whether the tokens in your liquidity pools have strong fundamentals that can survive a bear market. To help with that, you can divide them into the following categories. You have 1, very low risk. These are liquidity pairs with stablecoins, for example, USDC paired with USDT. You have 2, low risk, which is stablecoin against a blue chip like Ethereum or BTC. So this is like a USDC paired with BTC. Okay, so yes, value can drop depending on the yield you're earning from staking, but these could also remain strong positions. The other category is medium risk, and this is an ETH or BTC against a smaller token. So for example, ETH paired against Sand or ETH paired against Polkadot. So these smaller projects are more likely to see a stronger value decrease. And then the last category is high risk. Pretty self-explanatory, but these are liquidity pairs with tokens of smaller projects, a little bit more obscure, shallower liquidity pools. For example, like a REV, REVV paired against Sand. It all really depends on how much yield you can catch on those liquidity pairs. But hey, listen, as long as you're bullish, truly bullish on the fundamentals and team of a certain project long-term, there's less harm in keeping your positions open there. Bonus pro tip is when you've claimed your interest or yield, you can swap them to stable for more ammo. This way you can secure the value of your yield farming activities better. This does require a little bit more activity, a little bit more management, but it reduces potential losses. And of course it does also reduce the potential upside when the market does bounce back. But if you were really bullish, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Ultimately, I would say it comes down to finding that right risk-reward balance for your personal portfolio and tolerance. You know, but bear markets aren't all gloom and doom, right? Unless you've obviously lost everything with the Luna collapse. Bear markets actually have a lot of opportunities because this is where real wealth can be made if you do it right. The opportunities being the market's slower and there's less news to keep up with constantly. So that actually gives you more space and time and brain power to catch up on the gaps in your knowledge. So actually take this time to read up on some fundamentals and learn new projects and really get to know the technology better, the lingo. So you can basically take advantage of this time to learn more about Web3 and overcome that initial steep learning curve. Really slow down, take a breath, absorb knowledge, touch grass even. You know, like form your own solid thesis for the next bull run. One of the worst things you could do right now is to leave in a bear market. So those would be my biggest tips for surviving a bear market. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter where I post much more regularly. And see you in the next one.